In a quiet valley bathed in soft twilight, where the sky shimmered between hues of rose gold and lavender, there lived a young girl named Elara who believed that magic was nothing more than a story told to children. Her hair gleamed like threads of sunlight and her eyes mirrored the starlit sky, full of curiosity, courage, and a longing for something more. Every evening, she sat on the edge of the whispering woods, sketching the wild flowers that glowed faintly in the dark, wondering what secrets they kept. But on one extraordinary night, when the stars seemed to hum a melody of their own and the wind carried whispers of a forgotten realm, Elara saw something that would change her life forever. A tiny spark of light fluttering weakly between the trees, like a dying star struggling to stay alive. She stepped closer, her heart thudding like a drum, and gasped when she realized it was a fairy, no larger than her hand, her wings torn and her glow fading fast. Before we uncover what fate has bound Elara to this mysterious fairy and how their meeting awakens a lost magic hidden for centuries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon, because this is just the beginning of Elara's breathtaking adventure through light, shadow, and destiny. Now, let's journey into the story of Elara and the lost fairy. Elara knelt beside the fairy, her hands trembling as the tiny creature struggled to speak. "Help! Me?" whispered the fairy in a voice like wind chimes in the rain. The girl's breath caught in her throat. She had heard old legends from her grandmother, tales of fairies who vanished when the moonstone shattered long ago, taking with them the balance of nature and light. "Hold on," Elara murmured, tearing a piece of her handkerchief and wrapping it around the fairy's delicate wing. The faint shimmer of gold dust clung to her fingers, warm and alive. "What happened to you?" she whispered. The fairy's eyes flickered open, glowing faintly. "They found us," she gasped. "The shadows found us." Elara looked around the forest nervously, but everything was silent, too silent. Then, from the depths of the woods, came a low, rumbling growl. The trees seemed to twist and bend, and darkness rippled between their trunks like smoke. Clutching the fairy, Elara ran, her feet pounding against the forest floor as whispers echoed behind her. "You cannot hide from the shadows," hissed a voice that wasn't human. She burst out of the woods and raced toward her cottage, slamming the door shut just as something heavy thudded against it from the other side. Heart racing, she looked at the fairy glowing weakly in her palm. "Who are you?" Elara asked. The fairy blinked slowly. "My name is Liora. And I am the last of the Starborn." That night, as Elara tended to Liora's injuries, the fairy told her fragments of a forgotten past, a realm of light once connected to the human world through hidden portals, guarded by fairies known as the Starborn. They drew their power from the ancient sunflower stone, a crystal of golden energy that kept darkness at bay. But a being called the Shadow King, jealous of the light, destroyed the stone and plunged both realms into chaos. "We tried to protect the last fragment," Liora said weakly, "but it was lost. Somewhere in your world." Elara frowned. "My world, you mean?" "Here," Liora nodded slowly. "The light chose someone, a human with a pure heart, to find it again." Elara felt a strange warmth in her chest, as if something deep inside her was awakening. "Why me?" she whispered. "Because," Liora said softly, "you heard the stars when no one else did." The next morning, the storm had cleared, and golden light poured into Elara's small cottage. Liora perched on the windowsill, her tiny wings now faintly glowing. "We have to find the fragment," she said, "before the shadows find us again." Elara hesitated, glancing at her sketchbook full of drawings of stars, forests, and strange glowing flowers, images that came to her dreams long before she met Liora. "Where do we start?" she asked. The fairy fluttered above her shoulder, a spark of excitement in her voice. "The whispering woods hold memories. The trees will guide us if you listen." So they set off together, a girl and a fairy, walking deeper into the forest that most villagers feared to enter. The path wound between towering oaks and soft moss that glowed faintly under their feet. As they walked, Elara could feel the forest breathing. The air shimmered with whispers she could almost understand. "Do you feel it?" asked Liora. "It's the magic returning. It knows you." But their peace didn't last long. The shadows were already stirring. As twilight fell, Elara and Liora reached a clearing with an ancient stone archway covered in vines. It pulsed faintly with light, a portal. Half awake, this was one of the old gates between worlds. Liora explained, but without the fragment, it cannot open. Elara touched the stone, and a golden ripple spread beneath her fingertips. For a brief moment, she saw visions, a vast crystal city in the clouds, fairies flying through silver skies, and a radiant stone bursting with light. Then she saw it shatter, and a figure cloaked in darkness catching one glowing piece as it fell. Elara gasped and stumbled back. "I saw something," she said. Liora's eyes widened. "You saw the sunflower stone's memory. The fragment is calling to you." But before they could speak further, the air around them grew cold. A whisper slithered through the clearing. "Found you!" A shape emerged from the shadows, tall, skeletal, with eyes that burned like coals. "Give me the light," it hissed. Liora darted in front of Elara, her glow flaring. "Run!" Elara sprinted through the forest as the creature lunged, branches snapping around her. Liora flew beside her, streaks of gold lighting their path. "This way," the fairy cried. They stumbled upon an old stone bridge over a misty river. "Cross it," Liora shouted. As Elara ran across, the creature reached for her, but when it touched the bridge, its hand dissolved into smoke. The fairy landed beside Elara, panting. "Old magic," she whispered. "This bridge was blessed by the Starborn." They collapsed on the other side, breathing heavily. "Liora," Elara said between gasps, "why are they after you?" The fairy looked down, her glow dimming. "Because I carry what they seek, the last spark of the sunflower stone, hidden within me, but it's fading. If I lose it, darkness will take everything." Elara's eyes widened. "Then we have to restore it." Liora nodded weakly. "To do that, we must find the Garden of Dawns." The next days were filled with peril. They journeyed across misty meadows, climbed rocky cliffs, and hid from shadow creatures that prowled under moonlight. Along the way, Elara discovered that she could sense things, faint pulses of light beneath her skin, whispers of guidance when she closed her eyes. One night, as they rested under a giant willow, Liora explained, "The bond between us grows stronger. You're awakening, Elara. The fragment has chosen you." "Chosen me for what?" Elara asked softly. "To restore the balance between worlds." Elara looked at the stars shimmering above them, feeling both terrified and hopeful. "Then I won't let you down." The fairy smiled faintly, her glow warming the air. But in the darkness beyond, something stirred, a pair of glowing red eyes watching them from afar. Days later, they reached the edge of the silver marshes, where the air shimmered with strange fog. "The Garden of Dawns lies beyond this place," said Liora, "but it's guarded by illusions. Keep your mind clear." As they crossed the marsh, Elara began to hear whispers, her own voice calling from the mist, showing her memories of her mother, her childhood, her fears. "Elara, stay," the whispers cooed, "you can rest here forever." She almost believed them, but then felt a faint tug at her sleeve. Liora's tiny hand glowed brightly. "Don't listen, they're shadows in disguise." Elara shook her head and pressed forward until the fog lifted, revealing a breathtaking sight, a vast field of golden flowers glowing like suns, stretching endlessly. At the center stood a fountain made of crystal, where light danced like living water. "The Garden of Dawns," whispered Liora. "This is where the sunflower stone was born." Elara approached the fountain, feeling warmth radiate through her entire body. "What do I do?" she asked. Liora fluttered beside her, her glow flickering dangerously. "Place your hand in the water, let it know your heart." Elara reached out, and as her fingers touched the shimmering surface, light exploded around them. She saw visions, of the Shadow King's rise, of fairies fleeing, of the last battle between light and dark. Then she saw herself, standing on a mountain top holding a glowing stone, wings of golden light unfolding behind her. "What is this?" she gasped. Liora smiled faintly. "Your destiny." But before the vision could fade, the ground trembled, dark tendrils shot from beneath the flowers, wrapping around Liora and dragging her into the air. "Elara," the fairy screamed, "it's him!" From the shadows rose a towering figure cloaked in black smoke, the Shadow King himself. His voice rumbled like thunder. "You cannot defy me, child of light." Elara's heart pounded as she ran forward. "Let her go," the king laughed, the sound chilling the air. "You think you can fight darkness? You're nothing but a flicker of dust." But as he raised his hand, a burst of golden energy erupted from Elara's chest, blindingly bright. the tendrils recoiled, and Liora fell free, landing weakly beside the fountain. The fragment, hissed the Shadow King, it awakens. He vanished into smoke, leaving only echoes of laughter behind. Elara rushed to Liora's side, tears in her eyes. "Are you okay?" she whispered. The fairy smiled faintly. "You used the light, Elara, you're stronger than you know." As dawn broke, Elara and Liora stood before the glowing fountain, knowing their journey was far from over. "We found the garden," Elara said softly. "But what now?" Liora looked up, her wings catching the rising sun. "Now we must find the other fragments before the Shadow King does. The next lies beyond the mountains, in the ruins of the Crystal Citadel." Elara nodded, determination gleaming in her eyes. "Then that's where we'll go." The fairy smiled, her glow returning a little stronger. "You truly are chosen, Elara." But as they turned to leave, a faint voice echoed from the fountain, soft, sorrowful, "Ancient, beware. The light comes with a price." Elara froze, looking back at the glowing water, where a faint silhouette, almost human, flickered and faded. "Liora," she whispered, "did you hear that?" The fairy's expression darkened. "Yes. And it means the past isn't done with us yet." They began their journey toward the mountains, unaware that in the shadows beyond the valley, dark forces were already gathering. The Shadow King's crimson eyes glowed brighter, and his voice drifted through the wind. "Find her, the girl carries the light, bring me the heart of the Starborn." The forest trembled with his power as ravens took flight, spreading darkness across the land. Meanwhile, Elara and Liora walked into the horizon, where golden light met silver mist, their hearts beating with hope and fear. "Whatever happens," said Elara quietly, "we'll face it together." Liora smiled, her tiny hand resting on Elara's shoulder. Together, the morning sun rose higher, casting a golden halo around them, but behind that light, a growing shadow crept closer, waiting for the right moment to strike. And as the wind whispered through the trees, one could almost hear the faint cry of an ancient voice, the beginning of something vast, beautiful, and terrifying. To be continued in episode 2, The Secret of the Sunflower Stone.